Well, hello.
What up? What up? What up?
Welcome back to the Willow Hour.
Welcome in. You're here.
Come in close.
I just went silent. I had nothing.
Me too.
I just wanted to look at you.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a moment for everybody to just
wanted to really eye you for a sec.
breathe.
I'm trying not to laugh too loud into the mic, so yeah.
Here we are with episode 2.
Episode 2 of season 1 of the Willow Hour.
Yes.
Welcome. You're here.
I'm so happy you are here.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it every time, and I'm going to mean it every freaking time.
I know. I'm glad you're here.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we're all here.
I know.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep. Today we're going to be talking about the college years. If this is the first time you're catching the podcast, we are season 1 of our podcast, Besties. Been besties for almost 10 years.
Yes.
And in this first inaugural season of our podcast, we are talking about our deconstruction stories. So, deconstruction, Christian deconstruction. Because I'm not even going to say an endpoint, right? Because I was like, Christian 2, is there an endpoint? We'll get into that. The juicy things are coming episode by episode. So today we're going to talk about college years. Yes. We met in college, so we have talked about our childhood, our teen years, like all of that in the last episode. So this year we're going to be delving into the new stuff.
Yes, this is when we met, guys.
When we met.
This is when we met.
Yep.
And the reason why we are taking you through this entire journey is because it's crucial to get this stuff to really understand where we are today. And it really impacted our relationship with each other. It was a huge aspect.
And can you really just say, like, yeah, I deconstructed and say, like, nothing about what you came from?
No.
And we like to talk a lot, so we're going to do that. Yeah. We're going to make our own opportunity.
Yes. We have created our own opportunities to talk more.
Yeah, we talk a lot. So, I mean, it just makes sense that we're going to be doing a podcast where we get to talk about things.
Yeah,
so.
See, right now we're even talking a lot.
I know. To talk a lot. Why not?
Okay.
I'm Jim Sokolov. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope you know the reference if you know it. Yeah.
I want to maybe give a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Just again, this is not to bash anyone, any group, any church. This is not to offend anyone. This is just really talking about our experience and just the journey through the years of how we lived it and how it was for us. So Indeed. I just want everybody to take it for what we are saying. Yeah.
And if you have any questions, try not to make any assumptions about it.
Stay curious.
Stay curious.
So.
Parselton. Actually.
Is it Chouvelet time?
Is it Chouvelet time? I got the Chouvelet. So I guess we have skipped we've slowed the sparkling to the Chouvelet.
Of the Duvelet.
Of the Duvelet. We are digging deep.
Yes. This is another.
You have not held the Chouvelet.
I have not. It is Chouvelet time for hope.
Yeah.
That's me, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm Zena, by the way. If you didn't already catch that, which you did.
This is another episode of just. I just feel like when they put it in and then they stomp on it.
Yes, this is a stomp.
Yep, I'm about to stomp the yard. All right, I'm gonna drink.
Yeah,
because I gotta drink.
We're gonna put Chouvelet right here on the side. Chouvelet will be here
back up
at the end when we are ready to Yeah.
So that the sounds is not sounding.
Oh, today I'm trying penny apple pull.
I have tried the pineapple for a long time, and it will never work for me.
I usually don't like pineapple flavored stuff. I feel like this is just, it's like subtle, but like strong in the right way. But like I just feel like pineapple flavored stuff just always feels like so syrupy and like it just doesn't taste good. I don't know why. It just gives like, it's like mango flavored stuff too. Like mangoes is bomb, but mango flavored stuff be nasty. Form,
great.
But this is
good.
It's not bad.
Okay.
I feel like it smells enjoyable. And that like increases the experience.
Smell is a part of the experience.
Yes. Like it doesn't smell fake. Like it just smells like it smells like I have a pineapple in front of me. Like I'm sniffing because, oh my gosh, lovely. Pineapple. Remember when we used to cut pineapples in college?
You used to cut pineapples.
I know.
in
You used to
college.
just sit there across from me and just watch me.
Yes.
I know. I wrote a
really
poem about
believed
it.
in you.
I wrote a
I
poem
was
about
like,
it.
you can cut pineapples.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, it was. It's a beautiful memory for me. I will say so. I wrote a poem about it. I said that twice already. But I wanted to make sure it was said. I wrote a poem about it.
All right, so let's get into it. We're gonna start, of course, where it all starts, freshman year. And I did mention in our last episode that the way that I started freshman year set the tone for the next 4 years.
Yes, you did.
So,
What does that mean?
well, I started college at 17
Me
years
too.
old. And I had just jumped a grade, and somehow I was here and I was young and they allowed me to go to school. I don't know where like, we should really be thinking about ages, but that's not the time to discuss that. But I came in 17. My 17-year-old ass brought her own bottle of UV blue to college. I was like, I am coming prepared because I don't know who the plug is going to be when I get there. And I'm not going to waste any time. I'm about to have a good time from day one. So we started off what was it? Like, or it was like
the quad party?
the quad party.
Yeah.
The quad party.
Oh gosh.
I done chopped my shirt. I chopped it to be.
I know your shirt
It was
tiny.
tiny. I chopped my freaking. It was like just like a regular unisex like t-shirt, and I
Yeah.
just chopped it to be this tiny ass top. I was looking cute. I brought my drink out. She even asked, "You asked for a shot." We didn't even know
you told
each
me
other.
that. You told me that. I don't remember.
But anyways,
I mean, I must have. I would have.
that's a lot to say, but I feel like that really, I needed to say it and give you the full picture because it really set the tone for how I went into college as far as my relationship with God, Christianity. I was like, okay, there's going to be a time where I can choose Jesus, but now's not the time. I'm going to have fun, and then eventually I know this fun is going to come to an end, so I might as well start hard. I might as well go and do everything that, college. I don't know what's going to be here, but I want to open myself to the opportunities. So I'm going to let go of Jesus, and I'm going to hold on to this UV bottle.
What a juxtaposition. Beautiful.
In practice, I didn't go to church. I would attend when it was like winter break and summer break just because that is, I don't know, what people do. You go home, you see people, I don't know, it's like it's like you're a celebrity too. When you do go away from college and then you show up, everybody's like, how are you doing? Everybody's looking at you. And so it's kind of a moment. It's like a little like, yeah, look at me. But that was it. And then I went right back to my life as I was living on my own, and it was a great time. A few memorable moments for me in freshman year. So our third roommate, I met at Joshua Generation. So if if you haven't heard about Joshua Generation, go listen because y'all know that time was a time.
The last episode. Yeah.
I met her at Joshua Generation. So I think it was funny that I came into college so different than what we were just a year before at camp, going so ham for Jesus. And
Dang.
but she never judged me. She just allowed me to be me. She didn't try to tell me how to live my life, try to police me.
How to sit down with you.
Yeah, no. She let me go, and thank you. Thank you for that. But anyways, in those years, like me and that roommate obviously came from a very like a similar background, at least as far as how we felt about God, how we experienced God, things like that. And so we had a lot of long conversations, the three of us, and it was so big because you were just coming from something different. But I feel like the conversations were so raw and so real and so deep, and they're just conversations I'll never forget. Like the ways that our beds were propped up, we all had bunk beds.
It's so sweet.
And so I sat at the edge of my bed, and then she sat at her bed, and then Zena was over here, and we just sat and we talked up in our little bunks. It was so sweet. But those convos were so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I just kept thinking about it. It was so cute.
And I know, I feel like you're going to probably do more justice to this because obviously there's a lot of overlap. But then this is also the year of the Boston bombing.
Yeah.
And It was a whirlwind experience.
Oh my gosh.
It was a lot. And
Yeah.
maybe I'll add a little bit more to it when you get to talk about it. That way you guys can get a full picture of that
I
time.
want you to.
And I don't know, it was just, there was so much going on. There was so much life to live at that point. I didn't feel any strong pull to like realign my life with Jesus. I was like, yes, I'm hearing from the Lord, but not like I need to choose the Lord. So that's kind of where I fell at the end of freshman year.
You know, you're such a good friend because I was supposed to intro the video talking about what we were going to talk about, and you just went into it. We just went into the disclaimer.
Oh,
I was supposed to say that we were going to do where we were with Christianity and God, what it looked like in practice and memorable moments, basically like we did the last episode. So check that out. But I just wanted to get that context. I appreciate you just like not, calling me out. But we got into it, honestly. I gave the background to the last episode, and I just woof. Anyways, you already got freshman year from Hope, so let me give you my version. So basically, the easiest way to describe how I came into where I was at, I should say, where I was at with Christianity in freshman year was agnostic. At least that's the word I used in my head.
It is the word you used.
I wasn't sure. Did I say it to you?
Yeah, that was the word that you used.
Because I wasn't necessarily sure what it, like if I understood what it meant or if it really applied to me. That was just the best word that I could use. Because for me, it was like, I didn't believe in Christianity. I believed in God. I believed like in a creator. I was like, there's something going on, but I'm not sure what it is. And I'm not sure if I can know what it is. So to me, that was like, I'm agnostic, And I just didn't like the way that I grew up. I didn't like, how I was raised. Like there was, I went into all that, all the restrictiveness, and every Christian parents a little differently, but I just associated my dad's parenting with like Christianity and all that. So I was just like, or vice versa, you should say. Either way, I was not for it. I didn't go to church. I barely went home. I was like, I'm not trying to be part of that.
Oh yeah,
I was enjoying my freedom.
We definitely went home the least.
Yeah.
It was like, if the campus was really gonna be empty, then I'll go home.
Yeah, if it was like, you gotta go home during Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so it's like,
I'll go. Thanksgiving, yeah. But we had heart-to-hearts, and they really kind of started to sway me because all of us had a Christian background. So we were all talking about God and all this stuff. So I started to be like, and our other roommate was so invested in her faith and stuff like that. So I was just like, I just don't even remember. Honestly, I was like, I'm hoping for you to jog my memory on the conversations. But I do remember like times where like I would like, I remember one conversation with her where I was like crying.
Yeah, because I feel like she would always like speak into your life.
Yeah.
I feel like she was giving you like visions for your future.
I know. And oh my gosh, I wrote something that she said on an episode.
On a post, on an index card.
I'm sure that I still have it because, I keep a lot of things. But yeah, and it's funny because you said, I did not know a Christianity outside of the one that I grew up in. Like I always say, I did not know what Hillsong was until I met you. Like I met you guys. I literally knew nothing of the outer. I didn't know that another Christian world existed. Like I just knew that like, oh, we go to a non-denominational church and there's other denominations, but we never learned about them or anything like that. Like I didn't know that this was actually kind of a denomination and that there was like another way more, I call it mainstream Christianity that just like, not mainstream, but more widespread. Like but I just didn't know. I just had no idea of anything else. Like Hillsong was just like, who?
What?
Worship? All these bands?
Yeah.
Jesus culture? What is this? I don't know anything about this. Not at all. The only songs I heard was the ones I heard in church from the songbook.
I know the songbook.
Yeah. So anyway.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, I just didn't know that there were different ways of people believing how you get saved. No sense.
I know.
Different church cultures, different anything. I had no idea.
I didn't really know either.
Yeah. That's an episode for another day, probably. But, I cannot mention the Boston bombing. And that was very much a trying big time for all of us because I was actually in the city on that day. I was on my way to the city when they were happening. Like my parents called me and were like, "Are you okay?" I had no idea what was going on. But anyway, after the whole incident, we actually found out that Johar went to our school and actually was in some of our classes. So we were like, and then the news it was just really intense for us. We were watching the news like crazy or a lot. and we had to evacuate the school.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on this whirlwind spiritual experience. This was like at the end of freshman year, April. So we were like, the three of us were tight. We just had this like big moment. I gave my life to Jesus.
No.
I was like, this is it for me. I repent. Ask for your forgiveness. I turn back from all my ways. Like, I honestly was like, clean me, Lord. Wash me white as snow, as they say. We did a little sprinkle.
I know.
We really was just, this is it. This was it, So, yeah. Unfortunately, the commitment didn't last long. Old things started very quickly in like 2 weeks. So, let's... Which we'll get into in sophomore year.
Yeah. That was... I feel like, honestly, there could be... there could definitely be...
Cliff Notes.
A whole episode dedicated to literally like the last, 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. 3 weeks of the semester of freshman year?
The last 3 weeks of the semester was huge.
It was the wildest time. And I'm not even trying to tease y'all.
No,
it was literally
it was just actually
fucking
the
crazy.
most memorable time of, like, one of the most memorable, potent times of college. Certainly of freshman year, but of college. Big stuffs.
Yeah.
Do you remember I'm not even going to get into it.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to say that we went to Target and the lady... We went to the Silver City Galleria.
Yes, Grace.
Grace
From the random church that I'll never be able to recall.
Random person.
Yep.
That I'll never
Put
see
us in
again
her
in my
van.
life.
She didn't put us in her van. She invited us and we went. She was the great person.
It was
She
willingly.
sweet.
She was great.
Yes.
Safe.
She bought us food at Burger King at the mall.
We were honestly
and then
stranded.
my parents picked us up.
Yes, it was intense.
So...
If you want to know more, I guess we could really get into that. Let us know if you want to know more about that.
Yeah,
but we're trying to keep to time today. So.
So for sophomore year, honestly, I feel like this year, it's so interesting because I'm like, we lived it together, but I feel like it feels different. I don't know. Like, I'm so curious to what you have to say about all of these years, even though we lived them so closely together and talked. I still feel like, oh my gosh, what did you live? What did you experience?
I know.
But I feel like at this point, I was thinking more about God. We were having a lot more conversations, especially like ending freshman year, and the person that I was seeing at the time, I was spending a lot of energy trying to convince them to believe in Jesus, and they just weren't having it. And now, in retrospect, it was a waste of time for everybody and just a waste of energy. But because of that, I feel like because of the way that ended, it got me thinking a lot about just, I don't know. I feel like a lot about my witness.
Yes.
Because I felt like that was a person that, like, I let down because I wasn't like a good enough Christian for them. I was trying to convince them of Jesus while living a completely different non-Jesus-y life with them. And so it's like that's I feel like that's when I start to feel like I don't know, there's more weight attached to like how people saw me as a Christian on campus. And so we had so many more like table talks. So the way that like in the very beginning of our sophomore year, the desks were set up and we put our desks facing each other. Yeah. And so it was table talk. It was a table talk segment until we flipped the whole room upside down. But it started that and we started having a lot more deep conversations. And I feel like I did a little bit of journaling that year. I did not like prayer journal freshman year. But I feel like I picked it up a smidgen during sophomore year. And and this is when Zena also brought out her prayer of Jabez cards.
Those are my dad's. Still have them.
This is what I mean. Like I feel like we were getting more in touch with the spirituals. Yeah, because the thing is, right, the way that like it works in Christianity, I feel like you always believe something is saying more than it is. Yeah. Something is speaking to you. So every single time we would pull out a prayer card, we would believe that it was speaking to us. And so everyone would have been significant. It wouldn't have been like we picked one out and it was just like, oh, that didn't really do it for me. It wasn't like a fortune teller. It was truth. It was the word of God. It was him speaking to us for the present moment because we prayed over which card we would choose. And so therefore the card that we chose was the card that we were supposed to choose and we were supposed to hear something.
I just find it funny that we were doing it at all.
I know. And then we would post, like, we would put
Yeah,
them on the door, and we would line them up on the top of our desk, like, so we could be reminded of these Jabez cards while we were doing all types of wild stuff in our bedroom. It's always gonna come out different than what I really need it to be, but whatever, we roll with it.
Yeah. Just to clarify, not
no.
This, no.
And I feel like I didn't mention this freshman year, but the experience of growing up Christian is like you go to college expecting, like, people expect you to join like whatever Christian group is on campus.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I had no interest in that though. I was like,
I went to a few things.
I just saw it and I was like, this is giving nothing.
Yeah.
This is giving.
Yeah.
It was, so no, it was, I didn't have any interest in it. Some memorable moments though of sophomore year. That's when I met my now husband. That is what I met. I met him and we started dating. And I feel like that point, like, it was really important for me to, if we were going to move past the first night, to know if he believed in God.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, okay, he believes in God. Good. I don't, there's nothing else here. Yeah. We can like work out the other stuff later. Like, you know, does he believe in miracles? Like, we can work it out, but he believes in God and Jesus. Exactly. He was Catholic. And but I was like, that's enough. I can convert him.
Flirt to convert, y'all.
Yep, flirt to convert. He liked this. He believed in God. I'm persuasive.
You learn to be persuasive.
Yes,
that's for
you
sure.
do. Absolutely. And then also, I will, you mentioned Hillsong.
Yeah.
So we went to a Hillsong concert.
Oh my gosh.
For your birthday.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next day I threw you a surprise party where we got lit. It was a night. It was a bomb night.
I honestly, whenever I look at those pictures from the Hillsong concert, I just laugh because I'm just like, we literally
the very next day
we had a party.
Yep.
Where we got lit.
Lit. And we weren't gonna not have it. I threw this whole surprise.
But it doesn't mean that the concert didn't mean anything. It meant so much. I was so happy.
We lifted our hands in Guinness Arena, Boston University. Jesus, take the wheel. That's Carrie Underwood. That's not your song.
I know, but basically.
Oh, and then we also started to study for all of maybe one session.
Yeah, I mentioned last week with the whole studying thing at the church that I grew up in. Yeah,
with Zena stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
And
it didn't go anywhere.
Nope.
We stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She also gave us moleskin journals. Okay, that's all I have to say about sophomore year.
Right. So sophomore year for me feels weird for sure.
Yeah.
It feels weird. I feel like what I wrote was like I had one foot on either side of the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was drinking, getting drunk, getting crunk, getting more drunk than I had in a long time. Really, really escaping. My escapism was high, almost as high as ever. Putting myself and others, aka Hope, and others, just others in general too, in just not good situations. But at the same time, we were also staying up late talking about God and just really, really, I also developing this thing where we could talk for hours and hours and hours. Really, I feel like it really, I mean, we're already talking freshman year. But sophomore year really solidified because it was just us two. Mm-hmm. So we would just go on. We would stay up and talk. So, and the things that we would talk about, we would just really feel like we had this like wisdom, you know what I mean? Like God was like giving us wisdom and we had all these like ideas and plans and like just, it was wow, you know?
And it was stuff that we needed to like note down. Like you started, I
started being the scribe of the friendship.
Exactly.
I started writing things down. I got these journals with notes, interesting notes. Maybe one day I'll bring some in. I hope not to embarrass myself too much, but it was really bad. But it's hard to say what my view of God was. I just feel like I came into the year more consciously believing in the Christian faith, like more. I did start writing in. You taught, like, showed me that you could write prayers, and I was like, you opened my life with that, because I was just like, I don't want to pray like out loud, like by myself. Like what is that? Writing prayers was everything. So I started writing my prayers, and I would talk to God. But I would still be going to like the club and drink and stuff. And get in unequally yoked relationships.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Unequally yoked? If you know, you know.
Yep.
My relationships was unequally yoked. I would do devotionals in the Bible app though. You know, the Bible app.
I know.
I was just compartmentalizing my life, though. Until I felt ready to give up the life that I wanted to live, I was gonna do a little bit of everything. I was gonna do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. God over here and fun over here because I'm in college. And I have no other ways of coping with trauma, so I'm just gonna keep escaping.
Was it even really realistic to go full out?
Not really.
And and not living on campus and living deeply on our
and not
own
at that
life.
point in my life, not for sure. I don't really have a lot of memorable moments other than just you and me constantly writing notes, like I said, like you said, actually, about things that we would do for God in the future, things God has for us, thinking we understood things, like felt like we knew things.
Deeply in touch.
We just knew things, yeah. And I had a really not so good relationship that year. And it really pushed me in my mental health. Really pushed me. It was not swell. Really not swell. And I want to also, so I'm not going to get too much into that, but that just plays into my mental state at the time. Like it was really rough for me. It was just really rough. I honestly could not talk about it. I was like telling anyone who would listen because I was in turmoil.
I know. It was a rough time.
It was really rough. Honestly, it's hard when you look back on things that you wish you would have done differently, but then you're just like, I really didn't know. I just really didn't, So that was sophomore year. It was so mixed up.
You were also 18. I just have to say.
Yeah, I was 18.
Child.
I was a child. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I do want to say sophomore year was when I joined the sorority that all three of us were in, our previous roommate and you and I were in it.
Oh my gosh, sorority! I know. I did not even write a single note on the sorority. I forgot it existed.
Well, you'll figure out why later. But we I was supposed to join it with our other roommate, and then freshman year, we got to college, and I was like, yeah, maybe I don't know if I'm gonna do the sorority thing. We went to like the table and everything on the first week of school, and I was just like, yeah, not for me. And then she talked about it, and then you joined the freshman year, the semester after, and then the following year, fall. Spring. I joined in fall, spring. Dang, I really took a while. So then I joined, and so we were all in the same sorority. It was it was founded by Christian women, so that was like 1 point for it, you know, and there was like prayers and verses and stuff like that, so that was something. But yeah, I wanted to mention it because it comes into play later for me and just later in general, I guess. So that was the sophomore year for me. I remember waking up early for my art history class while you were still sleeping, and Paw Patrol will be on because we had watched like some sort of something on Nickelodeon, like Nick Late Night.
Yeah, like Nick at Night.
Nick at Night.
Is it Nick at Night?
Yeah, we was watching some adult shows for Nick at Night,
like
and then
Friends. I don't know, like George Lopez.
Yeah, and then by the morning it was Paw Patrol. So I just remember always waking up on whatever day I had that class, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Paw Patrol would be playing, and I would get ready in Paw Patrol. So, anyway, that's random. But, yeah, sophomore year.
I want to say that we should definitely try to bust out some of the notes that we were writing in sophomore year. Sure. Because even though they were a little misguided, we were ourselves. And I believe that, like, the things that we are saying will still be true to where we are. Yeah. And that's almost 10 years later. That's 9 years later to this year.
I know.
Which is crazy. But
long time ago.
So, a junior year.
Yeah.
We are here.
Yeah.
A junior. So, I feel like, I was still very much so on a bender. There was there was no end in sight. That's what me and my therapist call it. We call it the bender. So I'm like, yeah, it was a bender. I was going on, just like the last one. You're like, this is my last one. I gotta go full. And I was still doing that, but I was also at my lowest mental health wise. It was a rough year, junior year. Therefore, I had no energy to live, and I had no energy for God. I feel like junior year and senior year are hard to really pick apart like specific memories because we lived in the same exact on campus apartment for 2 years in a row, and so the years just they bleed into one another. So it's hard to be like that was that and that was that unless I had pictures. I guess, and like timestamps on them. But that was, I feel like I just really didn't have much in me. Maybe I journaled a little bit that year just because, I had the moleskin. And once you have a nice thing, it makes you want to write a little bit. But I can't also recall a damn thing I did for Jesus. Some memorable moments.
Indeed.
There was lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of wine.
Lots.
And lots of wine. And
Lots
there
of
was a lot of eating my feelings. Eating my feelings.
We ate so much.
We ate and we ate and we ate. We ate like it was a competition.
Yeah.
But honestly, it wasn't.
honestly
It's
didn't.
not even funny though, because I mean, it's not that not that it was funny, but it really, the eating, I mentioned the eating because it was such a vision or a picture of where I was mentally. And I was in the depths of depression that junior year. I don't even know all that was going on, but it was like a year where everything kind of collapsed and hit. And I spent some time in the psych unit that year. Because, sometimes things just get too rough. I'll leave it there. There's another point I'll have, but I feel like I can add that to the end of what you have to say. So
Sounds good. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little gassy. The sparkling water, the carbonation, it just gets you. You know what I'm saying?
It brings the bubbles up.
So, yeah, junior year is when things started to kick up. Honestly, it's so funny when we're talking because I'm just like, I got the same point. Like, the line between my two lives was stronger than ever, I feel, because we were living in the apartment. We could do whatever we want. We had our own bedrooms, our own bathrooms, a living room, a kitchen, the whole nine. So we could do anything. RA
everything.
presence was not a thing. And so we were just living like, I mean, what was on campus really? It was an apartment. It was an apartment. So we were on campus because it was convenient and technically we were on campus, but the life that we lived was not like a dorm life.
No.
It was very much an apartment because we had like all the necessities and everything. So there was nothing. So my mental health was also at one of the lowest points. I was having like new trauma memories. I had a position in our sorority that went really, really sour.
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
I can never forget it because honestly, it was a catastrophic blow to my mental health. Like it took me to a place that I don't want to get into. It just really, really, it just catapulted me deeper into the abyss. It did.
I forgot that was what literally stomped me.
It sunk me. Yeah.
Mushed me into the ground. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, it's hard I rely on you to recall specific things because yes.
I do the same though. Yeah. It was really hard.
Oh my God.
School pressure was bearing down on me. Like, I didn't even say, like, my freshman year, I like flunked my first semester. I was not ready for college. And a lot of my college was either withdrawing from classes or retaking a class because it replaces the number on your GPA. Mm-hmm. Like, it would still be on your transcript if you failed the class, but, like, it would replace on the GPA.
Yes.
So I did a lot of that. And, yeah, I was struggling to keep up. I had a really bad breakup. I remember it. Like, I was just, I harmed myself at the time. Like, I just made a lot of decisions trying to make sense. I just was trying to stay afloat, and things were not going well. Yeah, we had our good times, a lot of wine. We had good times, but it was overall, but it was really hard. It was just really hard.
And it was a lot of the wine was fun at points and it was tasty, but it was also just like,
it was an escape.
And it was like I feel like a not so noticeable way to escape because wine just seems light.
Yeah.
If we were taking shots on Wednesday night versus wine's day, it just had a different, it's like we could pretend that shit wasn't what it was.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I feel like we definitely did a lot of like trying to make our coping seem more minimal than it was. Mm-hmm. And wine was a way to do that.
Yep. And eating
was a way to do that. Like we lived right across from one of the food places on campus, and so we were there
all the time.
So yeah, but did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, no, you go.
I was just going to say I had actually a really pivotal moment though that year as far as like my relationship with God. Like it changed the quality of my faith from then on. I feel like I was doing this devotional in the Bible app and it was on like pain and grief, and it taught me that I could be angry with God. and I could voice that to God. I could, and so I did.
That's pivotal.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that I could do that before, which is kind of wild to say or even think, but I didn't. And so that was a huge moment for me where I was just like, I could be honest with God and I could give it all. And so I did. I was like, why? Why me? Why this? You failed me. Like, you say, I be hearing you never fail us, but you have failed me. So I just want to let you know, I'm not good with it. I'm not good with what my life is, and I don't know why you're letting me go through what I've gone through and what I'm going through. So I was bearing my soul, and that sounds really bad, but it made me feel closer to God. It made me feel like I could be honest, and I was really giving, which is crazy because when I look back, I'm like, I didn't hear anything. Nothing was said back to me. There was no apology. Like, I didn't feel any response. Yet, I felt closer.
Yeah.
I felt like I reached a point with God and I could speak and have a relationship. And I was trying to read my Bible. We were still having extensive conversations on God and thinking that we had wisdom and what we were going to do in the future together and for God and stuff. But
there was still a little bit of hope in there.
Yeah, but it was really hazy, and additionally because of the fact that we lived in the same place for 2 years. But that's what I get from junior year, a rough year. So
yeah. The ending of junior year, though, is a moment. I would call it the altar moment. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. The altar moment, which we will discuss.
Yep.
In our next episode, we're going to be talking about choosing
the year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord.
Yep.
Whatever that means. There are so many things involved. There's a lot of changes involved.
Yes. It really takes a turn.
Yeah.
It really takes... It's like
things start moving.
It's like a new beat. Like, it's like... I don't know, like, I feel like this is like a moment where, like, the music in the movie changes, and and it's bright, and it's like almost brighter, and it's like airier, and this is a moment,
and you just feel like things are happening how they're supposed to go.
Yep, exactly. Like things are
picking up.
Yeah.
And the reason why we separated, because it also senior year goes into everything that came after.
Yes, it's a moment. You guys, when you hear it, you'll
get it.
You'll get the whole thing.
The girls, I'm not gonna say it.
Always say it. You gotta. If you start,
I was gonna say the girls who get it,
and the girls that gort.
No, the girls who girl, and the girls who gort. No, girlin', gort. I don't know. I don't know how it goes. I'd be trying.
But yes, so that is what's to come.
Yes.
And that will be coming up next. And you guys will see. Once it's complete, I feel like you will see that it's complete. And
it'll be all there.
And we will just be shuffling again.
I was just going to say... I'm so sorry for that horrible interruption. I was just going to say... Let us know if there's anything else you want us to be shuffling. Anything you want us to dig into.
Oh my gosh.
Anything you want us to just... Sorry, that actually looked really violent. But like in the dirt, in the soil, you know.
Anything. Yeah, let us know what you want us to shuv. Because
the shuvle of the duvle is ready for action. So let us know.
Yeah, it is honestly here to accompany us on this journey.
I know.
And so you let us know. Take this moment. Okay.
Great.
Follow us.
Yes.
On the socials.
Yes.
At the Willow Hour.
At the Willow Hour.
Just type it in wherever you can. Yep. See where we pop up.
I know.
And then click follow.
Click it.
Subscribe. And pay us.
You give.
We give.
We give. You give.
You give.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
We give, you give.
Yeah. You give, we give.
Yeah, we appreciate you watching, and we appreciate your support, and thank you so much for being here. If you made it to the end, honestly, you're real ones.
Yes, if you made it to the end, is there a shuvle emoji? Put it.
Oh my gosh, put a shuvle emoji.
I put shuvle adjacent. Whatever gives you.
Anything shuvle, Diggy related. Diggy. Oh my goodness.
Diggy Simmons? How old is he? He's my age, right?
Our
He's
age,
95?
Yes.
He born... Oh. Well, I just told you everything about me. Oh, I don't know if I was ready to do that, but I did.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, dig. Okay, anything. Put the dig emoji.
Yes,
that and honestly, you
or
can
comment Diggy Simmons.
Diggy. Work it into the comments somehow.
Let me know if you know Diggy Simmons.
I know.
Because that's the time.
Did we not all have a crush on Diggy Simmons, though?
Who didn't?
I know. My cousin was obsessed with Diggy Simmons.
Diggy.
For real.
Yeah.
But also, I just want to say, if you made it this far, also, you are, like, you can now, like, you're part of the besties.
Yes.
You are here.
You're here.
We can feel
I
it.
feel like that was aggressive.
We can feel it. We know you're here.
I do.
And anything that we do a long outro. We love it.
Yes. So, I'm going to close my eyes and say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Ypsilanti.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Honestly, certain words just take you back in your soul. Ypsilanti.
Yep. I can start.
Gort.
Gort.
The girls who girl, and the girls who girlint. Gort.